Hello and welcome back. Today's episode, I'm going to be painting a snowy winter scene. Well, because one, it's winter, and two, it just snowed recently and it looked great. So I'm going to paint what it looked like when it was snowing. I'm actually going to paint snowflakes on there. And this one's going to be very, very simple because I've only got five colors, 6 if you include the little red I got there for the signature. So I am going to run that up here in the canvas for a little bit, just so you know what the colors are. Now I already covered the whole canvas with a very thin coat of liquid white. And liquid white is just the base coat we use to make the canvas wet and let us blend color on it pretty easily. So let's just get started. I'm gonna just go into a little dab of black. I'm gonna start here right at the horizon. When it was snowing, it looked a lot like it was darker at the horizon than it was at the top. And if you want it brighter here, just tap in a little dab of white and put it in. Yeah, I'll even do some circular motions. I want this to be a very dark gray area, while the rest of this here just sort of looks cloudy. But you can't see any detail because it's snowing. Touch a little dab of black and white. Not too much color now, though. I want it to be almost exactly as white at the top when I reach it. I want it to be as white there as it is now when I get to the top. Cut back here to the darker area to collect some more color. That's a nice trick too. This is definitely good exercise. I can feel my muscles growing in my arm. Right. I think that's what I'm looking for. Very basic sky. See, I knew you could do it. Ready? Now I'm going to take the brush that had the liquid white, the 2-inch brush. Just try to get the excess off of it. Now I'm going to blend, starting at the bottom and going outward. Very basic sky. Right. Now, I envision some trees, so I'm going to decide whether I want to use the 1-inch brush or the 2-inch brush. Why not the 2-inch brush? Go a little black, tap it in. These are going to look like basic trees in the distance, not too much detail. What? Maybe it's a great big tree that lives right here. This is a little forest. This is very basic. I want it to look like trees, but I don't want to make it look realistic because while it's snowing, it's misty and you can't really see what's going on back there. Right? It's about time to wash the dirty brush. And that's the funnest part of this technique, and the most fun part is washing it. Wash your oil brushes with odorless paint thinner. You beat the devil out of it. I use the brush beater rack and the and beating it off of my easel because it gets more paint thinner that way, and I save paint thinner because it is very expensive. Right? I think I'm gonna just pull it up at the bottom here to make the illusion of tree trunks. Or you know what? Maybe I wanna tap some mist in here. Diffuse it. Alright, we got our misty trees. Now let's add some closer ones. I'm going to go back in this 1-inch brush and really tap some in. Just tapping it. It's amazing what kind of effects you can get just from tapping with your brush. Maybe these are just bushes. I think I'm also going to have some trees with no, dead limbs. So I'm going to take that and go into my black and just get it thin as ink. Right? Maybe there's a little tree there. If this is thin enough, it'll run on your palette, don't worry. It's honestly the hardest part of doing a tree like this is getting it thin enough. Maybe there's one back here too. Tree limbs go all sorts of ways, so just find one that comes down here. Maybe this guy doesn't have many. I really want it to look misty right here, so I'm just gonna add a couple more of these deciduous trees. Then I'm going to cover them up with some bushes. Just twirling and letting it have fun. Alrighty. It's time to go back to my 1-inch brush and tap in some more of that black. And leave some basic snow bush shapes here. There's one more bushy tree thing right here. Right. Now I'm going to take my round brush Just take some of this. Oh, I should have mentioned earlier that this white thing here, that's just my liquid white. I'm gonna really tap in a lot of this white color. If you have a lot of paint, it'll flow off more easily. This is just real basic shapes. I'm not adding too much liquid white either. Tapping in more white, more liquid white. Just tapping in more. Lightly tapping. Alright. Here's a little trick you can do. You can take a palette knife, go into some of these dark areas and scrape in some twigs. And hold the knife so it's at a slight angle. Just a few in some of these dark areas. This is done, that's going to look amazing. Right, I'm going to take a 2-inch brush and just pull this out. It's time to build our snow. Pull some white in. Alright. Let some of this dark stay though. That'll just look like shadows. Alright. That doesn't look half bad, does it? No, it doesn't. Now I think it's time to add a monster tree. That's what the Van Dyke Brown's for, so I'm going to really load it up with some brown. Maybe there's a giant tree right here. He's got arm right here. You can decide how many arms you want on this tree. If you don't even want the big tree in here, just leave it out. Alright. Whew. Oh, that is a big tree, huh? I'm going to wash this filbert brush because I'm also going to use it to build something I figured out with this wet on wet technique that maybe some of you haven't heard of. But before I do that, Gonna take some white, a little bit of this Van Dyke brown, and mix it together and leave it marbled, because with this is going to be a highlight. Use a little pressure. And do this sort of, I'm exaggerating here, like a round stroke. I'm not going to put snow on the, I noticed that snow doesn't usually, another little roll, doesn't usually, it hits the top of the branches, but not so much the sides. Grab a little more of this highlight. Even a little bit here. All right. A little more. I think I just made this limb way bigger than it needed to be, but that's okay. I'm going to take more paint thinner. And what you saw me do for those trees back there, I'm going to do the same thing here, except I'm going to fast forward it. Well, maybe grab a flat brush, put in some bigger limbs first. This script liner is really good for tiny limbs, but not so much like, you know, bigger limbs like what I'm doing with this flat brush. This is just Van Dyke brown I got on here. Alright. So it's plenty of big limbs. So now I'm going to fast forward, putting in little limbs, like for those trees back there. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to take a little bit of this white, put it over here. And now I'm going to put the snow on these branches that snow that's laying on the top of the branches. Not so much the sides, but the tops. And add some liquid white with that. And fast forward this part too. This part's just the same. Alright, I think that's all I'm going to do for that tree. I'm going to pull the base of him out with a 1-inch brush. Just to give him some feet. I'll fix that in a little bit. Trying to make some more of my land. Right. Now I'm going to come in front of this tree. Don't worry if you get a little dark, you can just blend it away next to the liquid white. Looks a little bright here, but that's alright. I think I'll leave it that way. Now, here's the thing I was going to show you. I've done this one time before. Let's build a snowman. Let's see, I'm going to start with the head. You can make moons like this. I'm going to take the filbert brush and just spin it. Twirl it. If you do this all the way around, it will ensure a full, even circle. Alright, there's the head. And do a body, the middle body. I don't want the snowman to be bigger than the tree. Whew. You might see on my Instagram, I put a picture of a snowman I built. Maybe this is the guy I'm painting. Nah, this one will look a little different. I made him, and he came out to be 6'7". I think I made him bigger than me. Okay, there's the basics, 3 basic shapes. I'm going to take the script liner, go in some black. Sort of not really making this thin, so I'm just going to 1, 2. There's a couple of eyes. Whew. Hand's very shaky. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a little smile on this guy. Right? And I'm just tapping with the very and tip of my liner brush. Now, here you see what exactly, you probably already guessed what I have the orange out for. This is going to be his nose. Right? Move it out. And there you have it. He has a carrot nose. Something's missing. So I feel like, see if I have any tiny brushes. And I do. A little tiny flat brush. I'm going to go with some black. Let's say we give this fella a hat. Tap in a brim. This is a gray hat. I want it to come out black, but it's never going to be a solid black since I'm blending it with the liquid white. Well, maybe you could keep adding black over and over until it gets to your liking. Right. Just thought of something. You'll see things in your painting when you're painting, and that's what generally happens. It's alright. Go with it. I'm going to take red and put a little, yeah. That really completes it, doesn't it? And I already have it thin enough for when I sign it. I think if I added a scarf, I might be overdoing it. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a couple of arms. There's one. There's one arm. And here's the other. Where's my filbert brush? I need to finish out this bottom. I'm going to take this and pull it out. Take at least a little touch of black and put it in the ground here. I'm just going to blend that little dark area away. Alrighty. Now I'm going to add some more little bushes. Maybe one right here. Right. Almost there. I'm going to tap in, take some liquid white, tap in some highlights. Pull the bottom out. Alright. Take my knife and scratch in some little twigs. Mainly the dark areas though, they won't really show up in the highlight areas. Best way about going about it is either Dana Jester or Steve Ross once said that one of the easiest ways to go about highlighting is like a clock, like 1, 2, 3, and then going back around. And then after you make one half clock, then you make another one, go down. Right, now it's time to make the snow. I'm going to take some paint thinner, go into some white. Ooh, it's very thin. Happens just get a paper towel or a wastebasket. Made it too thin. Alright. Ooh. It's a lot of paint. I don't want too much. So I'm going to sort of shake it off. And add more thicker paint to it. Then I'm going to flick it. And add some slight ones to make tiny snowflakes. Then use more power for bigger flakes like that. Whoop, too much. The thinner it'll be, the more splatter you'll get. Really going to add some at the top of these distant trees. So much that you can't really even make them out anymore. I'm going to leave that little big splatter in it. Now right here though, if you get one that's too much, you can literally blend it away. Careful, make sure you get all the ones you want to get because it'll make some of these look kind of funny. And then just put them back in. Alright. I think I'd say this one's about finished. I'm going to take my script liner again and go into this red. Now, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video. I know it's kind of lengthy and, well, yeah, I mean, my attention span's pretty short when watching videos. I'm going to sign it. Signature, you want as thin as you can probably see it's running on my palette. Thinner it is, the easier it'll flow right off. I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video. It helps a lot. Like if you like the video and subscribe if you want to see more painting videos. I hope to see you here next time. Happy painting and bye-bye.